All right, Harry, we're in Matthew chapter 25 today. In the latter part, it's the parable of the sheep and the goats. Maybe we can get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, so this is the last parable in Matthew, and it's only found in Matthew. This parable been a mystery for me for most of my life. 20 years ago, I realized that neither the sheep or the goats receive what they expected. It's only in the last 2 years or so that I understand why, and I'm a little slow, I get that. But anyways, the story is about the end times when Jesus and all his angels sit in judgment, as he tells it there. He will separate the people into two groups like a shepherd. He will separate them into sheep and goats, the
Mhm.
sheep on the right hand side and the goats on the left. Then the King Jesus has a word for those on the right hand side, the sheep. Come, you who are blessed by my Father, receive the kingdom that was prepared since the creation of the world. That's the time of Adam and Eve. Now King Jesus tells them why. I was hungry and you fed me. I was thirsty and you gave me to drink. I was a stranger and you invited me in, and so on. The righteous sheep reply, we don't understand. When did we see you hungry and fed you, and so on?
Mhm.
The answer is, when you cared for the hurting, you did it for me. Now in verse 41, the king addresses the goats on the left hand side. Depart from me, you who are cursed. Go with the devil and his angels into the fire. Now he says, I was hungry and you did not give me nothing to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger and did not invite me in, and so on. They answered, when did we see this happen? He says, you ignored the hurting people. So, how does a sheep become a sheep?
Mhm.
When we are born again, Jesus comes to live in us. Jesus in us, we act like sheep and do what is appropriate. The sheep acted like sheep because they were sheep,
Amen.
didn't realize they were pleasing Jesus. The goats were not born again. They go to church and learn how to act sheep like. The pastor says, be kind, and they take notes and try to be kind. He says, be generous. They take notes and try to be generous. He says, be forgiving, and so on. The goats spend 40 years taking notes and practice sheepness. It's a really super sad parable. The sheep have it so good, love, joy, and peace. They're comfortable. They just act like sheep. The goats keep trying harder and coming up short. We choose to which side we're on. And it's
Mhm.
so sad. It is so critical to get this right. It is so simple. And yet we need Jesus in us. We need to surrender.
I was
It's
just gonna
it's a
ask that, Harry.
really
What's the key aspect to make sure that we are a sheep, right? Because it could be the goats, they had no clue, right? That when we read this parable, they
no.
thought they were doing everything right. How do we know
It,
personally that we are a sheep in the end of it all?
Yeah, like we have it well, the easiest way to find is to go to Galatians, the fruits of the spirit, and see if that applies. Are those things natural? Love, joy, peace, and all those. Are they really who we are? Are we really at peace with God? Even in Matthew 5, the those kind of stories, like about read Matthew 5, 6, and 7. Is that who we are? And if that's naturally, I used to not like reading the Beatitudes. I did not like reading the Sermon on the Mount because I knew it wasn't me. Yeah, I felt awkward about it, and that is. Oh man, I'm so glad that I finally relented and I'm finally in a pleasant place. Oh, like it can go the difference is so small and yet it's so huge because we need to be born again. We need a new nature in our heart and that we are at peace. And this is what we want. Just just acting good is not the answer. We have to be good.
Amen. Thanks a lot for this, Harry.
Thank you.